Hello everybody and welcome back to another classic video game collection video. Obviously you guys know that it's Vita because you've clicked on the video, so I hope you guys are excited for some Vita goodness. Now this comes out I think at a good time because PlayStation just announced that they're going to cancel or shut down the PlayStation Vita store in August, also including the PSP and the PS3 storefronts. So this is going to be a good majority of basically the only way to play Vita games. Unless you're willing to go through the process of hacking it and getting games that way. But thankfully, I've amassed a pretty good Vita collection, and I've got a lot of additions from my last video, which is actually probably the most popular video on my channel. So it's about time I also did an update and a refresh. So here we go. First, I want to show off my actual Vita. It is a Vita the 1000 series or 1001, whatever you want to call it. 1001. It's got the OLED screen. It's the first generation. I actually prefer the original model because of the OLED screen. The charging port has a proprietary charging port, obviously. If things will focus, as you know, things never usually do. Anyways, it's a great little device. It's fun. Obviously, the Switch is kind of taken off, and I think a lot of it has been because of what the PSP started, and yeah, I just think it's a really cool system. Anyways, let's go through some of the games. Now these are going to be in alphabetical order just because that's how I pulled them off my shelf, and I'm going to do a couple of these special editions at the end of the video, so stay tuned to that. There's also going to be a lot of limited run stuff in this because I'm a huge limited run fan. Obviously don't have everything Vita because honestly I can't afford everything, but I got as many as I could and as many as I was really interested in. On top of that, you're going to see a lot of sealed games. Now before you start yelling in the comments, you don't play your games, why are all your games sealed? I will open these games when I get to them. There's no point me opening games if I'm not going to play them right now. I might as well just leave them sealed. It's an extra layer of protection, an extra layer of dust protection at least, and I don't have to put a little acrylic sleeve around them. I have acrylic sleeves around some of the games, and you'll see why later. Anyways, let's get started. Okay, first up, limited run. Like I said, as we're going, Aqua Kitty DX. This was also released on PS4, but that's a good little version for it here. I had to find a place to put all these as I stack them. Next up, Assassin's Creed Liberation. I believe this was released as a downloadable game for PS4, I think. I could be wrong. Be sure to correct me if I make any mistakes down in the comments. I'd appreciate everyone's input as you could. Bard's Gold, another limited run collection. This is number 65. I'm not going to do numbers. That's going to take too long. This one is really cool. This is one of the highlights of my collection. It is Bastion from Limited Run. And I don't know if you can see on there, but it's actually signed by the dev team. So that was really cool. I got a really lucky draw with that. Obviously, this is from Supergiant, and their latest game, Hades, has won Game of the Year 2020. So cool to have kind of their roots on the Vita. Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate. Not my favorite Batman game, but it's pretty good. It's a 2.5D side-scroller Batman game. It is pretty good, though. Check it out if you can find it for cheap. That's something that you can't say for very long, because I don't think these games are going to be cheap that much longer. This is BitChip Presents Runner 2, Future Legend of Rhythm Alien. Another limited run grab there. This, not a great port, but I found it more interesting that it was included and actually ported to the system, and that's why I really bought it. Borderlands 2, I got this for like clearance Best Buy for like $10. I did pop it in and play it for a little bit. It's not great, but it's pretty good. Alright, this is the creme de la creme of my collection. Obviously we're in the B's, you guys know where we're going. I have Breach and Clear for the Vita. Now this is limited run games number 1. This was the very first game they released. I took a huge gamble on this company that I heard about. I didn't buy more than one because I was like, I don't know if this company's even gonna last. I don't know if they're gonna be any good. And it was cheap. I think it was like 25 bucks. So I grabbed it. Super glad I did. Obviously I put it in an acrylic protector just to keep it safe. I haven't opened it because of how rare and collectible it's become. Plus, it's available on other platforms, so you can play it there if you really like to. Broken Age, from one of my favorite creators, Tim Schafer, Double Fine Productions. Great little game. This one's sealed, but I've played it on other platforms. Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified, a fun little first-person shooter. This is interesting. Child of Light. This is the, what's it called? The complete edition, because it includes all the DLC for the game. The North American release did not come with all the DLC, so it's the incomplete version, if you will. So that's why I went for the European release for that one. Claire Extended Cut for Vita. I think this is like a survival horror game. Curses and Chaos. More limited run. Get used to limited run. There's going to be lots of it. This one's cool. Danganronpa and Trigger Happy Havoc. More of a visual novel style game, but very dark and twisted. So cool. And then to go along with that, I have Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair. Again, it's just sequel to the first one. Another visual novel. Pretty cool. All right. This one I didn't really know anything about. It's called Demo, The Last Recital. I went through a phase where I just bought any limited run game that came out, and this was one of the ones I wasn't too sure about. The interesting thing about this, this came out at the time where they had printed games, but they had gone through an ESRB kind of, I don't want to say debacle, but debate where they weren't printing a lot of ESRB stuff on their older games. As you can see, Curses and Chaos, no ESRB rating on the front or the back. So this demo one, they got printed, and then the ESRB said you have to put ratings on your game. So they actually put a sticker, an ESRB sticker on the back, on top of the shrink wrap. So cool little oddity there. Dragon's Crown, great little side scroller action RPG beat 'em up type game. Dragon Fantasy, The Black Tome of Ice. Again, this was my phase of just buy everything limited run. This one I just picked up last year, 2020. FIFA 14. Again, any Vita game I can find. I think I got this I got it in a deal. I think it was like $5. So I couldn't pass it up. I'll buy anything Vita $10 and under, generally. Freedom Wars, kind of like a Monster Hunter type game, but with a bit more story. Futuridium Extended Play Deluxe. This is a cool little shooter, like a third person flight shooter, I should say, something like that. Again, you can see a lot of these you're gonna not see an ESRB rating on them. Cool little facts. All right. Gravity Rush, great series. It started on the Vita. Obviously, this has been ported to the PS4. The PS4 version is worth a lot more than this version is, but it's cool to have the physical of the Vita version. This was created by or developed by Japan Studio, and that just recently folded, so who knows? But if you want to play that game, that's the cheapest way to play it. Hot Shots Golf World Invitational. Everybody knows the Hot Shots game. I shouldn't have to say much. Killzone Mercenary. This was like the very first viable first-person shooter on the system. And it's pretty good. Check it out. Things are getting stuck. All right. La Mulana DX or LX? I can't remember. EX. Completely wrong. Another very hard platformer type game. This is limited run. But one of the things I liked about this is that it's developed by, I don't know if you can see that on there. There's a Red Star called Rising Star Games. They put out some really, really cool games, and I'm a really big fan of that publisher, so that's why I grabbed that one. Again, another game that doesn't need any introduction, Little Big Planet Vita. Great little game. Little Deviants. This was basically a glorified tech demo for the Vita, just to kind of show everybody what it could do. Lone Survivor. Another little, I keep saying little because the cases are so little and I just kind of want to run with it. Anyways, little survival horror. I said it again. Metal Gear Solid HD Collection. This has 2 and 3 on it, I believe. Yes, Sons of Liberty and Snake Eater. This was one of the last games I got from Target while they were still in Canada. I got it on clearance, and I think it was $10. Here's another really cool one. Minecraft for Vita. As you can see, if you're paying attention, another European release, because of course the game's not in here, but it is a physical cart. There is a physical cart that comes with it. I believe that the game's actually in my travel case, because this is one of the ones that I bring with me. This game runs great on the Vita, but yes, if you want a physical copy of Minecraft for Vita, European release is the way to go. The North American release is only a download code inside a case. Next up is MLB The Show. I got my man Jose Bautista on there. Really fun little portable baseball game. They released a couple of years, but this is the only one I have. Muramasa Rebirth. This was originally released on the Wii, and they brought it over to the Vita. This is by Vanilla Works, same people who did Dragon's Crown, but really, really cool game. I'm going to show these two together because they're kind of related. I have the Mutant Muds Deluxe and Mutant Mudds Super Challenge. Very hard, challenging platformers, again from Limited Run. They re-released these as part of the Atui collection on the 3DS, also through Limited Run games. Most Wanted, Need for Speed. This is the Criterion, the same people who did Burnout. They also made this game for Vita. Not the greatest game on Vita, gonna say. It's very, very sparse, and it doesn't handle that well on the Vita, in my opinion. Best to get this probably on a better platform. Nova 11, another Vita game, also ported to PS4 from Limited Run. This was in my phase of buying everything. I don't know a whole lot about that one. Oceanhorn, Monsters of the Uncharted Seas, or Monsters of Uncharted Seas. Another Limited Run release, very early. I think this is number, what does it say here? Number 69. Octodad. This is number 11 Limited Run. Very cool. This actually came with like a tie and everything you could have with it. Really, really fun, very silly physics game. Oddworld Munch's Odyssey. This is a port of the original Xbox game. This was also ported to PS4, I believe. A lot, again, Limited Run. And of course, Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, New and Tasty. This is the remastered edition of Oddworld. Again, pretty good. And then Oddworld, Stranger's Wrath HD, another original Xbox port to the Vita. Really, really fun, kind of different take on the series. It's more of like a first-person shooter. Mystery Chronicles, One Way Heroics. This is kind of like a tactical grid-based RPG, I believe. I could be wrong about that. Feel free to correct me down the bottom. Again, in my phase of buy everything. This is the latest release from Limited Run for Vita, and it may be the last one as of this video. Hopefully they'll release more, but again, Vita card production had been shut down for a while, so I think this is one of the last ones that's going to be made, at least through Limited Run. Japan could be different, and that is Papers, Please. This one you play a border agent for an Eastern European country. I have not gotten very far into this game, and I find it pretty hard myself. This one is sealed, again, because I've played it on Steam, and this is number 224, which, again, could be the last Vita release. A classic on any Vita. If you own the Vita, you gotta own this game, Persona 4 Golden. It's the port of the PS2 Persona 4 game onto Vita. Haven't played it, but heard good things. Plague Road for Vita. This is, again, another, I think it's a grid-based RPG. Not really my thing. This thing goes for sale all the time on the Switch eShop, so if you're interested in trying it out, try it there. You can get it generally for around $1 to $2, so there you go. Rainbow Moon, another one of my buy everything games. I don't know if it's Gigant or Gigant, take your pick. Yeah, another buy everything game. Rayman Origins, a really fun platformer. This is more my style. Great little game. I bought this on Vita because I wanted to have the set with Rayman Legends. Now, Rayman Legends, which was originally made and released for the Wii U, and that's probably the best platform to play it on. Vita is a close second because, again, you have those touchscreen and gyroscope controls kind of brought from the Wii U over to the Vita, so it's a good little option. Resistance Burning Skies. This was another first-person shooter, kind of in the same vein as Killzone. When Vita came out, you bought Killzone or you bought Resistance. I got Killzone first and later Resistance. Haven't tried this one yet, so I can't really compare the two. Retro City Rampage DX. This isn't a limited run, but it is a harder to find game. This is from V-Blank Entertainment, and they release their own games on their own site, but really cool to find that. Ridge Racer, a great racing game on the Vita. It's by Namco. Namco knows what they're doing. The very first Risk of Rain. Obviously, there's a second one now. I haven't played that one. But this is kind of like a roguelite, side-scrolling roguelite. This is number 2 limited run. I remember, actually not number 2, I lied. Number 3, close enough. Saturday Morning RPG. This is the second game published by Mighty Rabbit, first being Breach and Clear. Mighty Rabbit is, I believe, one of the owners of Limited Run Games. Actually owns the publishing studio of Mighty Rabbit, so he kind of self-published, and it's really cool. Skullgirls Second Encore for Vita, another fighting game, side-scroller. This one has a cool little slipcover, which I love slipcovers. They feel so nice. And Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time. That's what that one is. Haven't played this one. I haven't played any Sly Coopers, to be honest, but I've heard good things. Okay, this is me being strange, if I'm not strange already. I have Soldner Final Prototype X2. This is the limited run release. That was number 13. Limited run was like on a super hype train by this point. And that game in specific was getting like really, really hot. And then Play Asia actually released their own version of it, of Soldner X2, a Final Prototype. I was in my Vita hype phase as well, and so I grabbed it as soon as I could, and so I have 2 copies of the same game. Go figure. Next up, we've got Stealth: A Clone in the Dark, or Stealth Inc: A Clone in the Dark. Really cool, like puzzle platformer. Kind of reminded me of like Lost Vikings, that kind of thing. The Swapper. I actually have this on Wii U, so that's the version I played it. It's a pretty interesting type of I want to say puzzle platformer with like shooting mechanics. The Swindle, I haven't got into this one, but it looks really cool. You're like a thief and you've got to get away with robberies and not get caught. Cool concept, and I can't wait to try it. Tearaway, this is one of the games that really got me into the Vita. It's like Little Deviants, like a tech demo for Vita, but way better. It uses all the functions of the Vita, including the cameras, the touchscreens. You can add your own elements into the game. It's really, really cool. So check it out. This is also ported to PS4 later. Thomas Was Alone, a Mike Biffle game. I really like this game. It's so simplistic and so easy, but the narration is top-notch. Great little platformer game. Doesn't take long, an hour or 2 at most. And it's a really cool look into existence and what that means. Hard to believe you can get that out of a game about pixels and blocks, but he does it somehow. Another very late release for the Vita, and that is Shakedown Hawaii. This is from the same company who does Retro City Rampage. They obviously made this game, and they released it on their own website. I have this in another acrylic case just to keep it protected because it is a very late release. And I have that on other platforms, so I don't need quite to open this one just yet. Touch My Katamari. This was a very cool find. I got this at EB Games on clearance, and I think it was like $2. It's Katamari. How can you not get Katamari for $2? Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Gotta get the Ultimate version. Obviously this was released on other versions or other platforms like Xbox and PS3, and they also had ultimate versions of those games as well. But as I was kind of into Vita, I got this one. Uncharted Golden Abyss. I've not heard great things about this game, but I've heard it's also not terrible. Once I get through more Uncharted games, I'll come back and play this one, even though I think this is supposed to be a prequel to even before Drake's Fortune, I think. Undertale, a classic indie hit. This was released through IM8-bit or no, Fangamer. Fangamer releases some of their own games, and this was one of them. So it's a cool little find there. Unit 13, it says like a third-person tactical shooter. I haven't played a whole lot of it, just a little bit at the start to kind of get through it and try it out. It is very cool though. One of the early releases. Another Mike Bithell game, stealth puzzle game, Volume. This is not going to show up super well on there, but it's got like a cool golden cover. Another very early limited run release. The Walking Dead, the complete first season. Vita is not great for the Telltale games, just because there's a lot of loading in between all of the different sections and between your choices. You're gonna notice a lot of stutter and hiccup in between of those. So probably not the best platform to play it, but at least it is available if you want to take it on the go. Windjammers is a really fun kind of like tennis game arcade. Definitely check it out and play it. You can find it again very cheap on Switch eShop. Wipeout 2048 for the Vita. Very fun, like racer, kind of like F-Zero meets Mario Kart type thing. It's fun. Zero Drifter, a kind of Metroid-ish like platformer. You can kind of move around and you swap in between the foreground and the background just to kind of and complete puzzles to get through it. Doesn't take super long. It's probably only 3 to 4 hours to get through, so you can check that out there. Ys, memories of either Celceta or Calcutta, go figure. I'm not huge into the Ys game, but I know some of the Ys games hold their value, so when I find it cheap, I grabbed it. And then to go along with that is a limited run Ys Origins, so I grabbed the regular version of that. And of course, if you have the regular version of Ys Origin, you gotta have the collector's edition of Ys Origin. Now, the only thing that differentiates the Vita version from the PS4 version of the same game is this giant ugly sticker right here. Honestly, I wish they would have found a different way to differentiate, because that looks terrible on there. So yeah, again, one of my buy everything that Limited Run puts out purchases. All right, we're gonna go through some of my collector's editions. These are not in alphabetical order. I just put them in from most interesting or less interesting to most interesting. They're all interesting because it's Vita. Conception 2. This one comes with a soundtrack and everything. Another RPG? I don't know. It's done by Atlas, so if you're into Atlas games, you can check it out. They were clearancing this game out forever, and I managed to snag a copy. Next is a... Where's this from? This is from PlayAsia. I missed the PS4 version of this game, and it's something I wanted to try, and so they really released it on Vita, and so I grabbed a copy there. It's Cursed. It's either Castilla or Castilla, however you want to pronounce it. For the Vita, this is basically like Ghosts and Goblins or things like that. So yeah, interesting. All right, the last two that I think are probably my favorite collector's editions. The first being Axiom Verge. This is the Multiverse edition. I haven't opened this. It's still sealed. And obviously, Axiom Verge is a great game. Everyone should go check it out. Always check to see what platform is it's for. For some reason, this opened up here, but not much I can do about it. And then the last collector's edition that I have is Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. for Vita. So that is very, very cool. There is nothing on here that actually says that it's for Vita. So there's really no way to know unless whoever made it would know. There's nothing on it that says Vita, but I bought it for Vita, so that's why I know it's Vita. So there we go. That is all of my PlayStation Vita collection. I also have a PlayStation TV, but no one really cares about that, so it exists. Go check out videos of PlayStation TV if you're interested in that. Again, I'm very upset, or not upset, but disappointed to hear that Sony is shutting down the PlayStation Vita store. I wish they'd keep it open. I'm lucky enough to have a 64GB memory card. Again, Vita and their proprietary memory cards kind of stab the system in the back. Hopefully, they'll keep the servers open at least so you can download your previous purchases. So anyways, go out there and buy any Vita games that you want digitally while you can. Who knows? They might bring it back in a different way, or they might bring those games back playable on PS5. At this point, who knows? Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. Hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know all the mistakes that I made and any comments you have about these games in particular. I'd love to hear your opinions and your feedback. I will see you all in the next video.